Why did I have kids? Love you kids. I wasn't talking about you kids. but that's kind of how it feels. But what are some things that we can do that we can make a covenant saying, we refuse to do these things? As a member of Christ's church, especially as a member of the congregation of Moses Lake, what are some things that we will commit to doing and not doing? What are some things that we promise we won't do these things because we sacrifice giving our parental rights, and we're going to do these things because we think of the good for God's glory and for the well-being of my brother and sister in Christ? What are some things? Well, here's some things that I want you to commit to doing because they're biblical. And there are things that if you stop doing these things, then the culture of negativity and disrespect and devalue will disappear. That if we start doing what Christ teaches, everyone will feel loved, encouraged, and we'll be praising God and showing favor with God's people, like we see in Acts chapter 2. We should be boasting the favor of God's people and celebrating. You know? Celebrating. Yes, you repented, I repented, we all got saved. But here are some things. If we're going to continue on growing, if we're going to love, if we're going to build one another up, here's some things that we can't allow to be a part of our church culture. So I'm calling upon you to make a commitment not to do these things, because the glory of God is at stake. First thing I want you to make a commitment to doing is stop judging others with criticism and harshness and unfair expectations, and instead judge yourselves with mercy. We do that too much. We're merciful on ourselves, but harsh on others. Second thing we need to do is stop gossiping and slandering each other and profaning each other's names. Instead, we should be protecting and guarding one another. People are attacking your family. Third, stop grumbling and complaining about one another. Instead, we should be celebrating and boasting about what each other are doing. Paul did that with the churches, saying, I hear of the good works you guys are doing, and he celebrated them. And they were never perfect churches, but he celebrated what they did right. Fourth, stop being envious and jealous of one another. Instead, be content and celebrate what each other has and what God is doing through them. Another, stop being prideful and belittling and devaluing others. Instead, have humility and be honest with yourself and look to the best interests of others and serve them. Another, stop being hurtful with mean words that could damage someone emotionally or spiritually. Instead, submit to the words that we are to say only what is encouraging and uplifting to the benefit of others. Commit to stop being indifferent to the needs and the feelings of others. Christ has called us to be compassionate, to care, and to serve because we're imitating and walking in the footsteps of Christ. Another is to stop being angry, bitter, vengeful, and malicious of others. Instead, we ought to be patient and bear with one another and help one another and to forgive one another. We need to stop quarreling, arguing, and always trying to be right, because Christ said, blessed are the peacemakers. And isn't it better also to be wronged? And we need to stop trying to get everything we want and everything how we want it all the time, but be willing to submit out of reverence for Christ if it means it would benefit other people. Church, I honestly believe that we're blessed here in Moses Lake. We have a good church family. I honestly believe the church is going to bless us and we'll continually grow. I honestly believe that you guys are all gifted, and I thank God for all of you. You are honestly the people I love most in this world. I think about you guys the most, maybe too much. I had probably multiple preachers tell me I need to get a hobby. But honestly, I think about our church and I say, I want us to create a culture now where everyone's valued and accepted. Because in Christ's kingdom, there's room for everyone if they'll submit to the Lordship of Christ.